Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now today I decided to do just a basic video on the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck. Now first of all, I want to say before we do any divination or any spiritual work and or healing the public, healing yourself, it is imperative to have the identity of your ancestors, to acknowledge your ancestors. They are the ones who led you to this pathway of healing, understanding, growth and development, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. They are your guides. Remember the ancestors and they will remember you. Now, tarot is used as a tool for divination and deep contact with spiritual forces. Now, in the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot, their elemental forces still coincide with the Western traditional tarot, but in the form of rites. Now, the rites in this particular tarot grouping pays homage to West African tradition and culture, the older West African tradition culture. So the elemental forces, as we well know, are fire, water, air, and earth. And these forces roughly coincide with the orishas and the loas that are represented in the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Now the first rite they pay homage to is the PETRO. The PETRO nation are from Haiti, and they are the La Flambeaus. The Ursuli La Flambeau, the Papa La Flambeau. They pay homage to the rites of Haiti, the burning down of paradigms, the getting rid of things that no longer serve them, to bring source and fire and expedition to sacrifice, challenges the established orders of things, which coincides with fire. So the next rite that the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck pays homage to are Congo. And Congo coincides with the elemental force of water. So we're paying homage to Congo Square, where Marie Laveau and Dr. John presided in that area, doing healing ceremonies and rituals for the people in that area. And it also pays homage to Congo as well. So the next voodoo rite that we have is RADA, and RADA coincides with the elemental force of air. Now they are paying homage to the traditional kingdom of Dahomey, which was established in West Africa. And this is like the air, which is the liberating force of spiritual contact. This is the elemental force of spiritual connection in the form of air. So the next voodoo rite is SANTERIA. SANTERIA coincides with the elemental force of earth. And as you know, they are the orishas of SANTERIA. Now, SANTERIA is the sister religion to Voodoo. They equate all other nations in solidarity and is no way seen as inferior. So in the SANTERIA, they have the ability to take hold of conditions, and in no way is this force seen as inferior in regards to all the other elemental forces, because I believe I read somewhere some time ago that the earth elemental force, like in pentacles or coins, were somewhat inferior to the other elemental force, like in air, fire, and water. So, but in the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot, it is seen as equate, as equal, as just as important, equally balanced as all of the other elemental forces. So those are what the nations are and who they pay homage to in the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Now, not only that, I do have a little bit of notes here. Now, they have, so in the major arcana are the 22 roads. So instead of saying the major arcana or however else it is worded In another deck in the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot, it is worded as the 22 Rows. Now, these are the most powerful cards. They representing the strong spiritual forces of events and change. Moving on are the 40 spirits. Now, the 40 spirits are the mundane activities in life from day to day, and they are numbered from 1 to 10. Okay, so we have the 16 temple cards as well, which gives us the personality that's within the person, or the multitude of personality that is surrounding the person or within the person. These are described as a certain physical type and personality or certain spiritual influences. So we have the calabash that is represented in the Hanesses, the princess, the pentacle. We have the machete in the crossroads, which is represented in the sword, which is represented in the air, which is representative of that RADA quality. We have the serpent, which is the mamba, which is represented in cup, which is represented in water, which is represented in Congo. We have the drum, which is represented in wand, which is representation of fire, which is represented in the Hugan. So those are the 16 temple cards, and that is the basics of the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. Now, if you would take your time in understanding each spirit one at a time or as a whole, it is really up to you. But these are the basics of the makeup of the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck. It's very similar to the traditional tarot. They just have different pantheons. We have the Loa and we have the Orishas in the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. So this is just the pantheon of the African kingdoms, or the African powers. Basically, this New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck pays homage to the African spirits, basically. So, of course, there's like a multitude, and there are so many, and all of them are not listed in this tarot book. I mean, there's no way that I could ever grasp how many spirits take on this plane and any other plane and put them into any tarot deck. So, I just wanted to give you guys this information, basic information. If you have any questions or comment, you can leave them in the description. I appreciate it if you guys would take the time to thumbs up and like this video. I am doing readings, and I actually am introducing a new whole other series of readings as well. I think that's all that I have on my notes. I'm just going to check because I have to make sure everything's in order. But yeah, that is it. That is the basic understanding of the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.